Welcome back, everyone. And our next guest is a gentleman by the name of Robert Cotton. And Robert is the author of a book called Owen Sound Harbour, A Photographic History. Now, anyone that's on Facebook that likes the page Grey Bruce Archives?
Image Archives.
Image Archives. Grey Bruce Image Archives will know exactly what this book is about and who Robert Cotton is. Robert, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
The book is basically, as the title was, a photographic history of the harbor. GBIA, Grey Bruce Image Archives, was started in 1997 by Peter Shokran, the owner of Photo Art, and myself, where we scanned and cataloged to basically John James photographs and another collection by Jerry MacDonald. That collection has grown quite large, but John James is what got me started thinking about this book. I wasn't that interested in ships until I started looking at the ships, the pictures he'd taken between 1905 when he arrived in Owen Sound and 1955, or in that range. And there are like over 100 pictures that he took of ships in the harbor. So I thought that would make a great book, thinking of the history of Owen Sound. And as I was doing the research, I was a little short on good pictures. We had to restore them as well, and that was so I decided to add some pictures, history of the harbor. So we have the CPR fire where the grain elevators burned down on the east side, right. The building of the new ones in 1925. And then you discover that the history of Owen Sound Harbour is really the nexus of the growth of Canada from east to west. The train, once the train arrived here, and CPR did with their ships, that was the link that made trade available right up to the lakehead. So they were taking out passengers, freight, bringing back grain and raw materials, all going east to the factories.
And the Owen Sound was a very, very busy port back in those days.
That's right.
Was it not? I mean, we're constantly hearing stories, finding shipwrecks, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just found one recently up in Copeland Bay.
That's right, and that picture is here.
It gives you an indication of how important the port of Owen Sound was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your book, just thumbing through it there and what I've seen online, it really does depict very well the importance of that. So we're going to take a look at some of those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
We get a look inside this book. I'll let you go ahead.
Well, the Annie E. Foster. Now, I had to supplement the book, and the area museums were very helpful in doing that, and some private collections. The Annie E. Foster was just a schooner, so I started off with the first boats coming in and out of the harbor. Of course, were schooners bringing in trade goods for the people settling in Owen Sound, and then eventually you would have slightly bigger ones than this, bringing in grain and other things. So it's just sort of a starting point. That's the harbor. I don't know the exact date of that one, but it's very early on, right? And then once we get into the steam area, the Francis Smith at Boyd's Wharf, which is on the east side, out past the harbor, right, where it was deeper. And this was a boat that was built in Owen Sound. They actually came, the first shipbuilding started in Owen Sound with this boat being built here. It was important in that it carried mail. That was the contract to carry mail was fought over. The fastest boats got the contracted, so it would be mailed between.
Paddle? Is that a paddle
steamer? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There were several of them, and a lot of them ran from here to Collingwood. That was a big run. The train was in Collingwood at that time, so the mail would go to Collingwood, come over by steamer, and up along the North Shore to service the mining and logging camps up that way, right? That's the boat that they just found the wreck of up at Copeland Bay, the Jane Miller. Like many of that package freighter, that's called that type of boat. They got lost there's quite a few of them that got lost between here and Tobermory and other places around Georgian Bay, and they just get lost in a storm. Now this would be the harbor shortly after the CP Rail arrived and built their elevators that you see on the right. And that's one of the 3 ships. I'm not sure whether that's the Algoma or which one it is, the Alberta. But you can see all the schooners, and they were bringing grain in from the west. Would have been the western states at around Lake Superior, from Canada West, unloading them there. Then this one is the Algoma sank in Lake Superior. It was replaced temporarily by that boat on the left, the Campana, and while they were building the Manitoba. And the Manitoba, another shipyard came to Owen Sound, Polson Shipyard, to build the Manitoba. It was the first steel-hulled ship to be built in Canada. It was built here in Owen Sound. 1912 flood, yeah, the Sydenham River let loose one spring and created a lot of damage, took out some of the bridges, so a lot of the debris you see got washed down the Sydenham River. Yeah, that would be just after the 1911 fire at the CPR elevators.
Such an amazing history, and the shipping has always been a huge part of Owen Sound. And you know, once things started to change, but we still get the ships coming in, and definitely not. As I was saying, we were talking earlier. When I was younger, and you could walk across the harbor with the number of ships, like from one ship to the next.
The cover actually shows that well. Is it all right if I hold that up?
Sure, yeah, I'll just hold that up.
You can see that the way they're packed in there. Yeah, I think it was last year we had the most boats I'd seen in the harbor quite a while was last winter.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them, and now this winter so far none at all. But
I'm sure a lot of people can. And you know, everybody in Owen Sound will have a ship story. They'll have something to talk about with the ships. And you know, and I told a story that I recall from my childhood, from growing up there too. But a fantastic job that you've done putting this together, you and Peter. And I'm sure Peter, is he watching, do you think?
I have no idea.
If you're watching, Peter, good morning.
That's where you can buy the book, too, if I can plug that.
What's that, sorry?
You can buy the book at Photo Art.
Yes.
If I'm allowed to plug, which I already did.
Is it available anywhere else?
No, not for the moment. Just at Photo Art, yeah.
And Photo Art has been a huge part of Owen Sound as well for many years, and everybody. I tell you where it is, but you know exactly where it is. But I wanted to say good morning to Peter. We talk quite a bit on Facebook. So
good.
Yeah. So congratulations on putting this together, and thank you for putting it together. I'm sure everybody in Owen Sound would be more than excited to have a look at this and take a look at the heritage of our shipping industry here in Owen Sound.
Great.
Okay, Rob Cotton, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more Grey County Life.